All right, so we're gonna do is go over ES gold and crude, but from a higher time frame perspective. It's not really like a weekly or daily, but more for intraday trading. And it's not gonna be using bar charts or candles. Instead, it'll be using Renko and point and figure, or basically the tape reading chart, which is a point and figure with volume. This, by the way, is what Wyckoff called it. He called it a tape reading chart, and he did it on a very low time frame, literally tick by tick. But obviously, you can't do that now. And you can actually use this for swing trading as well, because it's really nice. Anyway, so the point here is that there's the way you, how should I say this? The way you prepare. One of the things is, there are three things you have to know at a minimum, right? So one is the trend, two is support and resistance, and three is where you're going, meaning targets. So these three things, the trend, support and resistance, and the targets, they allow you to understand where is price now and where is it going. So it's like knowing the market you're going to trade involves these three things. All right, and of course, others will use other factors as well, such as relative strength of the market. That's really important. The range of the market, the ATR, how much range it does in a day. And some will focus on fundamentals, but I really should know some of the basics about the range, so how much more juice there is in that during that day for profit taking. All right, so what we see here on is crude. So first thing is, there's many different ways to do this. You can use bar charts if you like. You can use candle charts. But I have a special preference towards Renko, just because from my experience, Renko with volume is really good. You can see things in a clearer way, and you can see levels and breaks in a very clear way, and it's excellent for trend. All right, so let's start. So on the left-hand side, we see here were the climaxes, right, at the top, 8 and 9. That's the most amount of volume in that entire up wave was right at the top, here and here. That's the most amount of volume in that entire leg up was at the top, and then it broke. That was your initial breakout, the biggest volume in 5 bricks, and it broke again, biggest volume in 7 bricks, and broke again with the biggest volume, I think, in only 2 bricks. And here you have the biggest volume break in 57 bricks. 57 down breaks broke that low. That is definitely something that is worth paying attention to, especially on the retest. So you gotta mark that low. I'll probably mark it right up there. Right? So we're gonna look for a pullback here. Crude should pull back. It's only 1-2 bricks, so it should do fine. It would be messed up if it only pulled back 1 brick, and then it might just pull back 1 brick. On the other hand, it might pull back 2 near the 80-50 level, and then resume its downtrend. So we understand from taking a look at this chart where the level is on this big red bar. You see big red, where the supply is that broke the low, and we understand the trend is down. So we have that level and trend. That's what this chart is good for. Next, we look at ES. So where's the level? What's the trend? Obviously downtrend. Where's the levels? Right here. Biggest volume in 38. 38 and then 78. Sheesh. So pullbacks into this area, it's they're not going to make it. You can also put a profile on it, see where the most amount of volume is. So it's up there somewhere, and this spike. So we'll leave it like that. Just have put the profile there too. Right? It's just you're just profiling the volume. So what I really like is when you have the brick first telling you where the volume is, and then adding the profile. Again, the brick first, and then the profile. You can really, it's like zooming in step by step. All right. So for example, if they tap the 78 area, it should go a little higher, here, and then here. So it's really within that 38 brick that there should be some pressure. Why? Because it broke this low. All right. Where else? So gold is say the level should be right there. What's this? That's the low. Low is 30. This low is 35. Okay, so around there. So we'll see a pullback right into that 1935 area, and then resumption of the execution in the downtrend. All right, so all of these markets are broken. Can you believe it? All right. Now, let's just profile this. That's pretty nice. It's just at 35 level. It's very clear. All right. So bottom line is we have our levels. So when you're considering levels, you want to see there are basically three. One is the breakout or the breakdown, right? So breakout or breakdown, markets have a tendency to test those areas, especially when there's follow through. You have breakout and there's follow through, they come back to the breakout area, and that's really Ison Creek levels in Wyckoff. The second is your zones, the demand zone and the other one, the supply zone, which is nothing more than where the origin of the rally came. It's the origin of the rally. So that's where the rally came from. Chances are, if price goes back there, the folks that caused that rally may still be interested in buying or selling more. So it's just the origin of the rally. So it'd be the supply or demand zone. And the third is your profile, meaning areas of high volume. All right, so areas of high volume, which you can identify from profile. So these three levels, again, breakouts, breakdowns. 2 is supply demand zones, and 3 is these volume profile POC levels. That's where the reactions are typically. And it makes sense because guess what? They're all places where one side put a lot of effort, put a lot of energy, put a lot of dollars, right? So it's just usually where one side overcame the other, where demand overcame supply or vice versa. All right, so now that we have that on the Renko, we're going to go to the figure charts. These are tape reading charts because they're basically figure charts with volume. And you want to know where you can potentially go or where you are potentially going. And the way you do that is that cause and effect. right? So that's basically it's just planning, and the planning will tell you how much execution there is, the cause and effect. Right? So you want to see where the right hand side where the supply area is, and like that, right? So this is a distribution area. Why? This is your right hand side, which is your last point of supply, going all the way back to the breakdown and going back to the left hand side. So you have the left hand side, you got the breakdown, and then you have the right hand side test. You want to get that entire level and then get a count. So what is the count? You just draw, let's get a, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, as it says, and then you want to draw the effect. The effect can be from that level or from the extreme. So in this case, from the high on down, or from the last point of supply on down. You can do either or. The conservative target would be from the high on down, and the more, I guess the more liberal target would be from here. So it would be like that. Like today, we tapped the the projection at 79. Whatever, 79. So you see the cause here, the effect there, and it went there. Okay. Similarly, let's do this for, so you see that the cause here for crude across the 8350 is projected 79. Now we'll do this for ES. So first, just identify the planning. It's right here. Then the cause, about 6. Then the effect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just to the 44. What? I think it was here. So this cause makes this effect. Okay. Can we take something else as well? Yeah. So the bigger cause, because this here is a stepping stone target. The bigger one would be, remember, you go to right to left, not left to right. Right to left. Identify it. So I think 18. It's 14. Ooh. That's a pretty big target. Damn it. I'll do it this way. It's about 4. Yeah, so across, if you take this count, across 45, 40, actually it goes all the way back here. You know, that is pretty big. That's a pretty big count. I think I'm gonna narrow the count first, so that's what you're supposed to do, and just take this, just from the high on the left hand side to the right hand side. It's about 15. So we take a count of 15, and if it breaks that, then you continue going left. You continue adding more count. Damn, man. Why did it do that? Anyway, you get the idea. It's to the 90s. 4390. So that should be the target. Anyway, so now and that's across this resistance area, right? So we're looking at 4390s. The stepping stone count was already met. Who knows what's going to happen, but this is a pretty good count. If it breaks this area, we can start dragging it to the left all the way here. See? So it would be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then I would drag it further, 22, 3, 24. So 15 to 21 to 24. All right. So finally the gold. So gold, let's see. We have stepping stone counts. The bigger count was here. This was the climactic action. I saw this with the white boxes. Very slick. All these white boxes is distribution. You see? This is not like, this is evidence that there was selling up here. All these white boxes, heavy, heavy volume. Anyway, so we take the full count. Then it's about 21. Now watch it again. I hope it doesn't disappear again. All right. So, uh-oh. All right, so it's almost at its objective. And that doesn't mean that it's going to magically, change, but that's the objective about 1910 or 1915. We'll take some stepping stone counts as well. So here's a stepping stone count. What is this? I think this is it. There's one up there, here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not that bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is right here, right? So the point here is that you have nothing that's telling you to go long. It's just the planning and execution straight down, straight down. So that's very relevant because all three markets are screwed. So, all right. So what have we done? We found the trend, then the levels. I used Renko for that, for trend and levels, and then where are we going? Right. So where are we going? Use these point and figure, and understand that you want to use the point and figure after the base is built and it breaks it. Okay, don't, because it needs to go into execution first. It needs to go into execution. Otherwise, you might be seeing something that is off. It needs to create the base, break the base, then you can get the count. All right, that's all, folks. Take care. Bye.